You know, I get this question asked of me a lot. What is decoupage and how do you do it? Well, chances are you've been decoupaging, if that's a word, since you were a little kid, because we've all done it. You basically tear paper and then you take some watered down glue and you glue it on something. We've all done it since kindergarten. But listen, decoupage now is a craft, and it's a way that you can create some beautiful things, not only for your home, but for your friends. You can decoupage on paper, you can decoupage on the walls, you can decoupage on anything. But how do you do it? How do you begin? Well, first of all, you have to start with decoupage medium, okay? That's the important part. So when you go to the store, they have all different types of manufacturers out there that make decoupage medium, but look for decoupage medium. And this particular brand right here, you will notice that they have different finishes, if you will. This one's sparkle, this one is matte, and this one is glossy. You want to pay attention to that because that will make a difference on the look of your project. So for example, I painted 3 pieces right here. This one is the matte, this one is the glossy, and this one is the sparkle. So if you want a soft muted look, you want the matte. If you want it super glossy and a high finish, obviously you want the glossy. And sparkle, well, that's just fun. That's for, you know, kind of a different look. And then the papers. And decoupage is really about papers and taking images. You can use any kind of paper. I've used rice paper, collage paper, scrapbook paper, any type of paper. I've used ribbons. You name it, I've used it. And tissue paper. Now, tissue paper isn't always the best, and I'll tell you why. Here's a craft project gone bad, okay? I thought, clever, I will just take some pretty Christmas paper and decoupage tissue paper all over this. Well, it absorbs the medium and it becomes transparent. So that's about 1,400 layers. I was like, forget it. I just gave up. So tissue paper, not so great. Okay. Here's another great tip. If you're going to print your own images, you might want to test it first. This one, the image is actually bled through. So you want to be careful of that. So let's talk about how you apply the paper. You want to use a brush. I prefer sponge brushes, but you could also use synthetic brushes or real, hair brushes or whatever. I don't particularly like these because sometimes they break off and they leave it, and dry on your project. So I really prefer sponge brushes. Besides that, when you're done, you can throw them away. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, like I said, you can start on anything. I'm just doing this on a wood box, and I take the decoupage medium, and the more porous your surface is, the more decoupage medium you're going to need. So I'm going to put it directly on the surface of this wood box, which has a nice clean finish. And some people like to cut their paper, some people like to tear their paper. I prefer tearing, and I just tore some of this tulle paper here. And you just put the paper over the decoupage medium and then paint over it. It is literally that simple. So I've got this little design going here. I'm going to tear some more paper. I'm using the gloss finish, and this wood box is very porous, so it's really absorbing the medium. And if you want to, the neat thing too about this is that you can do it on shaped surfaces. You go round corners, you can do just about anything, okay? And then I'm just going to spread it all over. And the more layers you put on top, the better. Here's a nice cute cutout here. Let's go over the top of that. So it's layering the medium over and over and over. And don't worry if you start to get a few wrinkles or a few bubbles. You can smooth it out with your fingers. It's a water base. All decoupage mediums are water base. You can smooth it out, but you know what? When it dries, it just kind of sucks up all of the bubbles underneath, and it dries nice and flat. So I want to show you this really pretty box right here. This is decoupaged, and look at this. This is using a really pretty paper. Now, if you're really into decoupage, then you want to make sure, if you want to do something really high-end, you can go for the really high-end decoupage paper. And that's what I've done here. I've used a special decoupage paper. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. This is the decoupage paper I was telling you about. I'll put a link on the instructions, but it's really high-end, and they've got some beautiful designs, and it's specifically made for decoupage. So you can go that route, or you can cut up pictures, you can do whatever you want to do. This is made from that beautiful paper. Look at how gorgeous that is. Cut out and then decoupaged onto a painted wooden plate. Beautiful. This one right here, I decoupaged this a long time ago, and the same papers I'm using now. And then see where I use some of the tissue paper here around the edge? So it becomes kind of transparent. But you know what? It gave it a different look. So decoupage is basically taking any type of paper, any type of image, and adhering it to any type of surface. It's really that simple. And if you want to give it a nice finished look when you're all done and your project's completely dry, then you can seal it and you'll have it forever.